Hi, it's Pastor Andy and a Friday preview. This week we're going to be looking at the first portion of Romans chapter 14, verses 1 through 12, and what Paul was writing about then. A lot of people will look at things in the Bible and say, well, that doesn't apply to us today. Well, it's possible that the specifics that Paul is mentioning might not apply to many churches, but within churches, there would be people that might certainly feel this way, but there are issues in our world today that fit very much with the topics or the theme behind Romans chapter 14. And really, this section of scripture goes from Romans 14:1 through Romans 15:13. So we're going to be spending a couple of different weeks on this, but Romans 14:1 through 12 today. So let me, before I give you the theme, let me just throw out a couple of topics. What kind of music should a church play? Should a church have lights and staging and all that kind of stuff? Can a pastor wear blue jeans? Are women supposed to be doing various ministry functions within the church? What kind of governance should a church have? Should the pastor be in charge? Should the congregation be in charge? Should there be a team of pastors? I could go on. What about Halloween? Should Christians celebrate Halloween? What kind of music what kind of entertainment should we watch? We're actually going to look at some of these things and get your reflections this week. You're not going to have to share those if you're there, but for you to just kind of make your own comment to them, to yourself, and to think through some of these things, because this is what Paul was dealing with when he was writing to Rome. Now, the two specific issues in the section this week, there's a third about wine next week, but the two specific issues this week are about what kinds of food can be eaten. Should people eat meat or vegetables only? And secondly, what day of the week should worship happen? Should it happen on Saturday for Sabbath? Should it happen on the Lord's Day, the day that Jesus resurrected, or is any day of the week fair game? Those were the two specific issues that Paul mentioned, and the premise behind it, his theme for this is that those things really don't matter. Now, it's not that they're not important, but they're not primary issues. These are believers within the church. These were people who were called to be united because they were a part of the family of God. And rather than focusing on the work of Jesus and living a life of love, they were fighting with each other, the antithesis of love, over lesser items, secondary items, even tertiary items that, yeah, might be important. Yeah, even have a scriptural background, but the problem is you can find both sides in scripture, or perhaps you can't find either side to support it in scripture. So it's an important topic. And ultimately, Paul's goal was to help the church at Rome to make one another feel welcome. Ultimately, because, well, God makes us welcome. And if we are to live according to the ways that God did, that's what we should do too. So that is going to be this Sunday's message on July the 18th. Again, Romans 14:1 through 12. Then next week we'll take a break for Hub Sunday. You might watch this past Wednesday's video for that, dated, July the 14th. And you can see what a little bit of next Sunday's preview might be for Hub Sunday. I'll have another video up next Friday for an actual preview for that. But and then we will return to the Romans passage when we get to the first week of August. So I hope to see you on Sunday. If not, I hope you'll tune in via video to watch and to think about some of these challenges and why they are so important to us, even if they aren't as important to ultimately the presentation of the gospel, the belief in the gospel, and how we live our lives accordingly.